How's it, everyone? We are the Joy Schtick Show. Guess what? Your three favorite friends from Hawaii are back to talk story about the latest things we read, watched, or played. We'll share our shtick with you, so thanks for sticking around. If you fancy what you hear, please like and subscribe on the platform you frequent. I'm your co-host, Drake. That's Brother Thomas.
What up, what up?
And that's Brother Scott.
How's it?
The echo is real, eh? The echo is real.
Oh, it's still going.
So real.
It's still going.
It's one big old way I'm recording.
Yeah. I mean, you're in space right now. We're all in space, technically, yeah?
Yeah, no, we have space.
So we got some pretty cool stuff to talk about today. Tons of things kind of happened. And we're going to just pick and choose what we want to talk about because it's our show and that's what we want.
Yeah, or we could talk about, we got Wolverine and Deadpool.
Oh, yeah,
we have some Oppenheimer and Barbie news. We got San Diego Comic-Con next week, Twisted Metal trailer coming up, and then Drake is going to be telling us about Never Have I Ever.
I haven't.
We're talking about Tom Segura, Sledgehammer, My Adventures with Superman, The Bear, and a brief discussion from episode 3 last week for Drake on Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Oh, that sound about right?
Yeah, that's a wonderful recap. All off the top of the dome. Didn't even think about it at first. So
I didn't read anything.
Wow, that's beautiful.
No list.
No list. Hashtag no list, guys.
Yeah.
Hashtag no list.
Hashtag no list.
But we do want to give a quick shout out to a few. Lily, Scott's co-worker, thanks for shouting us out on the YouTubes and starting our inaugural LMM haters group. And
I'm not a part of that group.
Yeah, Thomas technically isn't a part of that group.
I think it's just you two.
Yeah.
I like me some Lin-Manuel, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that later. Any hoosers. We also want to have a delectable, tasty chef's kiss shout out to all of our Instagram followers. We're up to how many again, Tom Bomb?
Yeah, we're over 200 now. So thank y'all.
200. That's
over 200.
Way more than 199. So,
hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
on to the news. Thomas, you recently posted on Instagram the Wolverine and Deadpool pic. And how it made you feel, what it did to your blood flow. Give us a recap of what that did for you.
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, if you have not seen this picture, you probably were not on any social media today because it's going everywhere. But it is a picture that Ryan Reynolds and I believe Hugh Jackman also posted, but it's the two of them walking down a dirt road. Ryan Reynolds in a very classically red Deadpool costume and Hugh Jackman in a very classic X-Men the Animated Series yellow costume.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So fired up. And I went on a very personal story about when I was a little kid and how I got into comics, which had to do with the X-Men. So if you haven't seen it, go online, go check it out on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. What about you guys? Like, I'm more curious to hear what you guys thought about what did that picture drum up for you, if anything.
Scott, did that changed your outlook?
Yeah, I look at life differently now.
Yeah,
It's
elaborate.
Super,
outlook on everything.
Super cool. Yeah.
It's a beautiful life.
Am
now.
I even now? No, I thought it looked sick, and that's always that thing when I watch the movies. I'm like, I know I want comic book accurate costumes, but how cool would it really look? But turns out really fucking cool. He he looks really cool in it. And then I think back to the quote in the X-Men 1 movie was would you prefer yellow spandex? And it's
Actually, James Marsden, we really effing do.
Yeah,
we really
James
want
Marsden.
Yeah. He's coming back as Cyclops. My
Oakley,
words.
Juliet's, or he was wearing Romeo's at the time.
Romeo's, good call. Yeah. So awesome. What about you, Drake?
I imagine, so what I wanted out of that is I wanted it to be like a short and I wanted it to zoom in on just their gloves, right? And their hands are slowly interlocking. And then as Wolverine does his little erection blades, shink, and then it slowly zooms out to them walking forward in the holding hands together. I thought that would have been...
You should make teaser trailers. That
Yeah.
sounds awesome, dude.
I do love to tease.
Yeah, definitely. That's the romance we all wanted to ship this year too.
Yeah,
so I'm on board with that. Yeah.
Hashtag. But aside from that,
nothing.
hashtag nothing. Yeah, I just
Hashtag space post. Okay?
yes, yes.
Fill in the blanks. Yeah, no, it looks great. Looks super cool. Okay, so another picture just dropped recently, right before we started recording, and you can see a giant Fox logo from Fox Studios in the dirt. So it's almost but confirmed that this will be not Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, but Deadpool kills the Fox universe. It's almost about confirmed now. So yeah, it's gonna be wild. Any quick predictions on that before we move on?
I said
Jennifer
he kills
Lawrence.
the Fox universe. Oh, what?
What?
You said I heard Jennifer Lawrence and I heard an Echo. Scott's all about the Echo today. What did you say? Say it again,
Super
Scott.
Echo. No, I said I think he's gonna kill the Fox universe. I think it's
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, if it's just like the comic where he kills the Marvel universe, it should be pretty entertaining
Yeah.
and pretty epic. What like if I've trilogies are a thing, so it feels like a really good trilogy.
I mean, it'd be nice if he. I mean, if he just went back and killed all of the Fox X-Men individuals, and then they could bring in a new Sledgehammer Bob. That'd be pretty chill beans.
I think that's what's gonna happen. But yes, I am excited about it. It looks so damn good. The other thing I am super excited about, next week on the 21st, we get Oppenheimer and Barbie. Barbie.
Three
Barbenheimer.
What are these, like
Barbenheimer.
biopics, right? They're both real things that happened in real life.
Yep.
Totally.
Weren't we just talking about how Oppenheimer, with all practical effects, there was no special CGs?
Yeah, Scott, you want to take it away on this one?
Real nukes, apparently.
Real nukes? Did they
That's what
film
I
it
got
in a
from
Ukraine or?
I have no idea. I heard that there's no CGI in it,
Ouch.
and I immediately think to how they did that. Did they make a mini bomb? Is that what we're hearing?
So one of Christopher Nolan's major things, and if you're not listening to Challenge Accepted, you can go over there on that podcast when you're done with this one. We did a Nolan month, and his big thing is he likes to do a lot of things practical, including in Tenet, he really crashed a 747 into a hangar. He used as much minimal special effects as he could for the Batman. That was a high priority for him, and I believe the thing that's going on around online right now is no CGI for Oppenheimer. So from what I've read, he did create a mini bomb that he used a ton of cameras who could film super ultra slow motion, and he used that to record the explosions.
I can't wait to watch not only the movie but the behind the scenes
Yeah.
footage, because the Inception behind the scenes footage where he built that hallway that rotated and stuff was like so fun to watch. So I can't wait to see like how we built the bomb and like these are the cameras. And
Christopher
gonna
Nolan
be
needs
nuts.
to make an escape room franchise.
That's a good idea. Christopher Nolan escape rooms. Oh my god. Oh dude, each room is like you have Inception, you have Tenet, you have Memento, Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Dude, that
I mean
would be
it's
fun.
$56, but you get a group weight of 150 as long as you have 8 or more people. So make that happen, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. All right, pricing set. Let's go.
Well, there was I watched a thing, and then I tried to look for it, and then I couldn't find it, but I found a lot of articles about it. But apparently Oppenheimer is best watched in a particular way. A lot of people are saying blindfolded in your own home, not actually seeing the movie. But it's IMAX 70 millimeter with a dual laser Sledgehammer Bob. And there's a lot of things that I don't understand about cameras and how that works. But essentially, the short of it is that typically in movies, you'll see that the screen either comes in or comes down to be able to kind of match the availability of what's being shown. But in order to view it the best, preferably 70 millimeter, there's a list of actual theaters that have this style of what is it called? Film availability.
Capability.
And the majority of them are in California.
Oh, cool. I'm set. But Drake, send over
Yeah,
that
the
list.
majority of them is California. There's one in Arizona.
Right on.
Is that it?
Send
Just
over
California,
that list,
Arizona?
I'll post it, yeah.
and we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah. I need to check that out. Check that out.
Nice.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll put it in the show notes so you don't have to hear me rattle off states.
Exactly, which is only 2.
I know.
But
Never do that again.
There's other states, but they're not relevant because
Okay,
nobody
cool.
lives there. So
a lot of facts. But what are you guys more excited to watch, Oppenheimer or Barbie?
kind of
Oppenheimer.
Barbie. Oh, okay.
Well, no, only because Christina and I are gonna go to Missouri soon, and
Missouri.
Missouri, and she said where we're at, I think they have like an actual IMAX. Here in Hawaii, we have IMAX, but like we've got rid of our like real IMAX screen like some time ago. So this would be the only opportunity to see something in IMAX, you know. And Oppenheimer, if I had to pick, probably pick Oppenheimer over Barbie. But I do want to see Barbie. It looks hilarious.
Does.
I mean, the cast of Barbie seems pretty chill beans. The nostalgia of it. It almost kind of feels like a Lego movie from the trailers, just because you see Will Ferrell kind of being the boss man of the overlooking toy situation, which
Yeah.
Barbie happens to be, and that Mattel Corporation. So it'll
Right,
be
I
kind of
noticed that
interesting.
too. I thought that same
Oh.
thing. I was like, wow, Will Ferrell always is gonna play like the bad boss in these like toy movies now. But
I feel like he
Interesting.
indicates comedy. When Will Ferrell's in things, you're like, oh, is that a comedy?
yeah, for me, I think it just split right down the middle. I can't decide. I go Oppenheimer, then I go Barbie, then I go Oppenheimer, and the pink carpet from Barbie just looks. It looks.
Does
so
it match
fun.
the drapes?
Definitely.
I hope so.
Sick.
I wonder if they invited Pink to the pink carpet.
Or I wonder if she did a song for the movie.
I don't know. I wonder if Aqua did, who made Barbie
Oh.
Girl.
I'm a Barbie girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe
All
we
right,
should just
so-
get
Those are great
Alanis
questions.
Morissette to do it. Wouldn't that be ironic?
Why?
I have no clue. I just wanted to say, wouldn't that be ironic? And it'd be sort of.
Yeah,
related to
Running would
Alanis
fill it
Morissette.
in.
I was trying to run through lyrics. I'm like,
I know. I'm like,
I'm a bitch, I'm a mother. I'm like, oh, is there Barbie in there? I'm trying to apply that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Okay.
moving on.
Moving on.
San Diego Comic-Con is next week in my current hometown in San Diego, California. I am so excited for it. Tickets are secured. I was hooked up by Giraffe from Strange New Pods. She's so awesome. Check out Strange New Pods if you are looking for a great Star Trek podcast to listen to. So cool, so fantastic. I'm so excited. You can expect next week, if you're following us on social media, whether it is on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, now Threads, Instagram's Threads. You can check it out there too. We're going to be posting a shit ton of stuff going on in San Diego Comic-Con. So check it out there. The other thing is we got a new Twisted Metal trailer.
Mero?
We got a Twisted Marrow trailer. What did you guys think of it?
Scott, tell us what you thought about Twisted Metal.
You go first, my friend.
Okay.
It's coming too. I saw it at Scott's
Yeah,
face. I
yeah.
was like, "No, Jake,
Having-
you better start this."
I'll start it. Having played the games ad nauseum on the original PlayStation, my big thing is like, oh man, Thumper, Spectre, my favorite characters that or cars I guess we get to see in the game, and then you kind of see Anthony Mackie kind of play of a fun character, then all of a sudden it gets Brooklyn Nine-Nine on it with some Rosa Diaz, and then the guy from Wings, that's kind of a dated situation. And I didn't really see any of the vehicles that I expected to see. However, as we were discussing it offline, we haven't really seen a themed rated R comedy live action that doesn't include animation. And so I think there's a lot of things to be excited about. At the same point in time, for me personally, I want to see the things that make it Twisted Metal versus like adjacent things that you could presume it's Twisted Metal. I want to see characters and cars from the game.
Yeah, I second that. It shouldn't just be Twisted Metal in name. Like there should be some throwbacks to the actual game. I know we got the clown who drives the ice cream truck. Like I know we see him in the trailer, but you're right. I actually am surprised by how good it looked from the trailer. It looks funny, and I wasn't expecting Twisted Metal to be a comedy. But right now with Anthony Mackie, who looks like he's having the most fun, he's just like being charming and silly, and like still kind of a badass, but just goofball, like pulling out the guns from all the different pockets. I mean, the dude's having a blast. I wasn't expecting this. I'm still on board to watch it, but I agree with you, Drake, in where I want some true callbacks to the games. Yeah, Scott, have you been able to check it out while we're chatting, or?
Definitely been able to check it out while we're chatting.
Yes.
Sorry,
Okay, that's cool.
that's
fun.
So, based on this, it looks entertaining. It looks like you're saying. It's kind of weird. It's like a dark comedy. It seems right.
Right.
I don't know too much about the games.
Word?
Honestly.
You didn't play the...
I kind of did. Like I always had a friend that had the game, and then I'd go over and just play, and we just battle. Like I don't even know if there was a story to it.
We weren't even friends at that time. That's why you never played it.
That's yeah, I didn't know you guys actually. Honestly,
Relax.
Yeah, you guys are just fucking nobodies in my life. So,
Oh.
no, just jokes.
You're
But
hurting
I
our
just didn't
feelings
know
now.
you. I just didn't know
So
you. I didn't know
you
who
had
you
a
were. I was
hard
looking.
work.
I was searching.
You had a tough day at work. It's okay. Take it out on us.
Yeah. Okay. So I had a friend that had it, and I just come on. We just like battle. It's like what is this? Like PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
That's like when I play, right?
I think
And
so.
I was just like, hey, this car was cool. And then it was kind of like Mario Kart, but like for adults, it seemed like. The battle
Yeah, kind of.
situation.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're making a show on it, kind of cool. Like for me, it's like blank canvas. They're just like, let's just take these characters and like make something out of it. Kind of like they did with like I believe the Arcane series on like League of Legends. Like there's not much of a story, so they're like, let's just make one, and then so they spawn that. So from where I'm sitting, that's what it seems like to me, and it seems pretty cool. Like, and I have Paramount. I mean, Paramount. God, it's Peacock. I have Peacock as well.
Wow.
Sorry, Peacock. I said Paramount. Should have said it. But I also have Peacock, so I'll check it out. Oh, show.
That game originally came out in 1995.
Wow.
95.
So
6?
it's a bit ago.
Yeah.
I wonder if Sony, because Sony essentially like greenlit this, so because they own the IP, I wonder if PlayStation, they're just gonna start making PlayStation movies, like
Maybe.
Ape Escape and fucking Crash Bandicoots.
Escape.
Dude, Crash Bandicoot as a show might be kind of cool. Solid. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, we're finally getting to a point where PlayStation or video game movies are good. We've got Sonic. I thought that was solid. We got The Last of Us. Clearly for adults.
Super
was
solid.
Really solid. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, 5 foot of cement, just dry, just thick cement. So, I mean, all of it has been really, really good lately. I see why not. You know, and again, to your point, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that has been almost like a rated R comedy for TV.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything like that. So I think it's a good genre to try to attack, and if it's successful, they look like geniuses. If not, then I don't think anybody really expected this show to be good anyway. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like no harm, no
Win-win.
foul, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. So, yeah, we will see. I don't have a release date in front of me. We'll be posting on the social medias when we find out. But as of right now, great cast. It looks kind of fun. Oh, last thing I'm going to say about it is I kind of like how they're making the cars having guns on them slightly make sense. You know, where the cities are walled and you need to like drug run supplies to different cities. So like guns on cars in the Savage Land makes sense. I'm like, okay, all right, it's kind of a fun idea. I like it. You know, good reasoning behind it. And yeah, we will see how it goes when it drops on Peacock. You'll be hearing it first when it does. All right, so we are now into reviews. Drake, you saw something on Netflix that I've seen one episode with and said, not for me. What do you What do you think about Never Have I Ever?
Never have I ever. So it is essentially. What did I think about it? It was the fourth season. I was watching it because my wife watches it, and then she's like, "Why don't you watch this with me?" And I'm like, "Okay," and then I end up getting too much into it, and then I'm like, "Why the fuck are they doing this?" Blah 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 blah. I'm too involved. Anywho's, fourth season, conclusion. I believe of everything to a degree, just because I don't know how they're gonna continue on the series with this, but it's essentially about a teenager who lost her father very early on, so she's going through that, but she's also a Desi character within the world, and she's kind of navigating her life as a teen throughout high school. And in this last season, everything that we kind of touch on in the first 3 seasons kind of culminates, right? She really wants to get into Princeton because that's what her father and her were discussing before he passed away. And then her rival slash frenemy slash like high school lover, Ben, who's kind of like a protagonist antagonist, they kind of have an off and on thing, and she's trying to like, she loses her virginity in the first season, episode 4, and there's lots of like cuts to her being in like bedazzled lingerie and things of such. It's a very sexually driven show, which I guess was helpful to continue to watch. But in this, you can kind of see her grow, and there's a lot of growth within the characters.
There's a lot of growth in Ben in that first episode.
Heyo, because he's really swole, both figuratively and literally. So,
watch it.
Heyo. And what can I say about it? Is that if you enjoy character growth and you kind of like a fun comedy teen type situation,
Sorry,
wasn't bad. Without giving away too much, essentially, season 4 is just a good culmination of season 1 through 3. If you like watching different cultures kind of evolve and kind of watching that, just imagine watching Miss Marvel, but a comedy and no powers, and more bust. That's pretty much the show.
okay,
And probably older.
Yes. I mean, technically. I think everybody's legal on the show. Also, there's a character on there, and her name is Nalini Vishwakumar. She's the mom. She also plays the main antagonist in the Pierce Brosnan movie Outlaws, which is also on Netflix. But you can stream it on other things. Any Hoosers.
Also recommended watching after you watch Never Have I Ever. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pro level.
I like
Yeah.
that.
That's pro level reviewing right there, Dre. That's pretty solid.
Duh.
Yeah, again, probably not for me. I won't be watching it, but it was decent enough for you to make it through the season. The characters, I'm guessing, are interesting enough. It seems really fun in a way. Like, I don't know how to say it. It's not my type of fun show, but I could
it's
see
popular
why.
for a reason. It's popular
Yeah,
for-
yeah.
Exactly. Also,
Joe
like,
McEnroe.
Drake, did you want to be Paxton Hall Yoshida?
Duh, he's super spicy looking. He's also part Asian. Like it hits my demographic. He's the king of high school, and in this episode, he kind of, or in this season, he leaves ASU and comes back to school, and so he's kind of struggling with.
ASU, son.
I
Let's
know
go.
he's struggling with being a high school like everything, and then should I have gone back to college, but now I'm back in high school, and now the people who looked up to me don't really look up to me anymore. So there's some things that people could relate to potentially.
All right.
Nice.
Speaking of things people can relate to potentially, Scott, tell us about Tom Segura's Sledgehammer.
Not his penis, but his special.
But his special, which is a call back to his penis in the special. That's
Oh.
why he titled it that. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Slight spoiler if you want to go into that joke, but I thought overall it was really funny. I liked it. If you like Tom Segura, check it out. It's one of the because sometimes you tune into comedy specials and
They're not good.
sometimes I find like they're not
that's what
good,
I was
or
thinking.
I find too, because I like comedy podcasts. There are certain comedians I enjoy watching in conversation more than I enjoy on stage. Like I feel
agreed.
like maybe they're
Definitely.
still finding because when you see them in conversation, you're like they're definitely hilarious. I don't think they figured out how to get that on stage yet. I mean, even though they're doing it professionally and they're getting money and they're better than I am. Who am I to say that? But same time, I'm like, you
You're
can
a
kind of just.
professional reviewer, man. That's who.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, bro. You're right. So,
Pay us.
yeah, God damn it. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty good special. He does. I did find it interesting too that I listened to his like podcast. He kind of does like turn into a different type of person when he's performing. Like he kind of has like a way he acts. Where some people are just like them on stage and off, but he kind of does have like a way he does about it, which you don't see a lot in his podcast. So that's kind of
Not me, man. Same person you get on the street is the same person you get in the podcast.
In the sheets.
In the sheets, that's right. With the mic next to my face.
Exactly. Always mic'd up, ready to go. So we call him mic'd up Tommy.
That's right.
Mic'd up Tommy. I second the Citrama Bob. Like watching his special, it's very par for the course for him. It's very Tom Segura's comedy style. I think there was a lot more of the bits were singled in essentially on one or three callbacks. There was a lot more things that he was kind of getting into where he was really pushing the boundaries, just like how he pushed the boundary with the Louisiana joke. In a couple specials ago, he was pushing the boundary with parental jokes towards kids, which I thought was super hilarious. I know people don't really like that, but it's a fucking joke. So, I kind of there was some things on YouTube, some shorts that there were jokes that were taken out of the special.
Oh, interesting.
One was about Ted Cruz, and it starts off that he has a very famous neighbor. I'm not going to name who he is, blah, blah, blah. And then he talks about his interaction with this person, and then he ends it with alluding to who it could or couldn't be. Pretty hilarious. So I think with the style of comedy stand-up that we have now, where there's just a lot more awkward, kind of like in your face, not like wow factor type situations, but just like very intelligent comedy. I don't know if you guys will agree, but I think we're in like that, like a lot of people talk about the golden age of comedy, or I guess the platinum age, where there's just so much comedians, so much content, so much views, where you know comedy is not just what it getting on Late Night with Carson.
Yeah,
it's anything now.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, these days there's so much videos and people who think they're funny, and maybe they are pretty funny, but who are putting up videos on TikTok every single day. And I think now, to be a top comedian, to sell out a Netflix special, to sell out a stadium, you have to be really special. You have to really do something very unique. And I think you want something that's not like the TikTok bites of comedy, right? Like you want something you can sink your teeth into, and you go down this story and they build on this thing and they call back to it, and it takes a little bit more brain power, but then you get more bang for the buck when the joke finally lands. When that punchline hits, you're like, damn. I feel like that's something Tom Segura does super, super well. Like
he's a great storyteller.
Yeah, he's such a good storyteller. He sets up things so well. I haven't watched the special, but I am maybe a little bit opposite of you, Scott. I've listened to a few of the podcasts. It really hasn't struck me, but some of his previous stand-ups have like had me rolling. So I have a feeling I would dig Sledgehammer.
Yeah, for sure. He does a good job too with like kind of just giving you the premise, and then you already like, oh fuck, like that's a good premise.
I know where this
and
is
then
going.
He's like, let me tell you how I'm gonna talk about this premise. And then he does it, and you're like, oh my god, that's so funny. Like you kind of like already know it's coming, but then like you don't know how it's coming.
Right, like
and
you fill in the blanks, and that's it. That's it. You're like already
exactly.
You sold yourself on the punchline.
Yeah, exactly. He does a really good job with that.
Hell yeah. All right, so that's Sledgehammer on Netflix. Go check it out. Do you guys want to give it some type of grade rating?
I would probably say 7 or 8 chuckles out of 10.
Okay, interesting grades. What about you, Scott?
Yeah. Similar.
Not grades. Okay, perfect. I don't know if that's super good.
3 yes. But that's like hilarious, you know?
Yeah. I'm thinking
Yeah,
that
yeah,
rock band song now. Whatever the
yeah,
song was.
Yeah. So all of those, yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, that actually sold me. I'll definitely have to check it out now. All right. Another thing that just dropped on Max, not HBO Max, Max.
New
'cause they
name.
seem to
Who
drop
are these people?
the most well-known part of the name. We got My Adventures with Superman, and I will say, I don't know if you guys watch. I don't think you have, but surprisingly, really, really fun. You know, I didn't know what to expect. Jack Quaid from The Boys, he plays Huey. He's the voice of Superman, and I knew that he was cast for this before I watched the show. And I was like, I don't know, how's that going to be? Going into it, you can kind of hear it a little bit, but it really, really works. And I think it's because he's supposed to be endearing. He's supposed to be soft-spoken. He's supposed to be a little shy. And that's totally Huey in The Boys, at least in the first couple seasons. And that's Clark. And it's about the early days of Clark coming to Metropolis and his first day at, what's the news organization? Why can I not think of it off the top of my head?
Daily Bugle?
Planet.
Not the Daily Bugle, Daily Planet. Yes,
Yeah.
Good job, good teamwork. But yeah, he meets Lois Lane, he meets Jimmy, and it's just fun. And he's like, it's almost like a college age. Like it's like him just leaving Smallville for the first time. He's already discovered his powers, so we're not getting a true origin story, but it's him to the city, and they do a really good job. And one thing that I think they do a really good job about, we've talked before about American animation. Well, this feels like they pulled a lot from anime into the show.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and I think that was a good move. Like, sometimes they joke and they blush and everything, or like Lois is, or he does. And it reminds me a lot of anime and the way the jokes hit, which, as you know, giant anime fan, watching this new show right now called Tengoku Daimayoka, and that is really weird, but I'm enthralled by it for some weird reason. Finished Demon Slayer, started watching One Piece, almost finished with season 1, believe that. And but this show ties a lot of those good things in that we see from anime, and I think it's a giant win for My Adventures with Superman right now.
Sick. I am sold.
Yeah, they only dropped it 2 episodes, so I don't think I spoiled too much. A lot of familiar things you've seen in Superman's origin story, but they've kind of changed it up a little bit. And it's really exciting to see Clark figuring out figuring out the Superman of it all, but also like trying to figure out who he is in terms of his relationship with Lois as well. It's like a perfect kind of spot, and then they also modernize it. So it makes me super excited for what they do with Superman Legacy, because there's cell phones, there's, social media, there's, all these modern things, but it's just, again, done super, super well. I recommend it. I had a ton of fun with it, and I wasn't expecting to have this much fun with the show.
Very nice.
Oh, okay. And it's on Skinamax?
It's on Skinamax.
Sick. Every time you say the origin, Superman origin, I was like, orgy? Like, what is Superman orgy? It's crazy.
You're like,
Don't
I'll
look that
tune
up on
in.
Reddit.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's on there. Yeah, so,
It's
I don't
probably
think there's
animated
any...
too.
Probably. There's
Yeah.
a Rule 34 for everything.
Hey-o.
But if you're into that stuff, go knock your socks off. But the show on Max, really fun. I think it's great, like kid-friendly as well, so something to consider. And check it out. So something we didn't get to dive too deep into last week was The Bear Season 2. I briefly touched on it. I try to keep it super non-spoilers because at that time Scott had not watched it. Now I believe he has. For very personal reasons, Drake hasn't been able to watch it, which I think is totally fair. But basically, Scott, what did you think about Season 2 of The Bear?
Dude, this show is amazing. Like, it's got to be one of my favorite shows. And I'm trying to think of other shows that came out this year. I was trying to think back. Did Andor come out this year?
I don't
Was it
think
last
so.
year?
I want to say that was last year.
Yeah.
For me,
Okay, so this
it has
might
to be
be
on there.
one of the-
Succession. I would say Succession's up there too.
Okay, yeah. This is like one of the probably one of the best shows I've watched in a bit. I know Beef was really good, but I think I like this more than Beef, just because I'm like, it is season 2, so we're more connected to these characters.
Yeah.
And the show did such a good job of like every episode felt like it was its own thing, and like I loved them for what they were. Like there were certain episodes that were like got you like super anxious. There are other ones that like just like really fleshed out a character and like made you like super hyped for like a win for them or whatnot. And then like even sprinkled through that though, there's like a lot of like tragedy that each of these characters kind of like going through. And it's just so well written, and like the actors are just so freaking good. It's just, it's so good. Like if you haven't watched Beef, like I strongly recommend watching this show. I'm trying to get everyone I know to watch this show.
Beef or the bear?
Yeah, Beef is good.
Oh shit, sorry. The bear, sorry. Because I mentioned Beef. But everything I said was about the bear.
But you know what's funny about that is the restaurant in the beginning of the bear is called Beef.
That's right, right? Yeah. Okay, it was, right?
And thanks again for stealing.
Because he had the shirt, right?
Yes. But you also like stealing, because they made a joke about it too, right? Like it was misspelled one of the times.
Right.
He's like, what does that say? Like it was like the beeve or something. He's like, what's the beeve? It was like, oh, it was a mess up, whatever, right? But yes, thanks for stealing my rankings already, Scott. Don't copy me. I got the bear at the top. Bro. I got Beef, and then I have Succession right below that. So those are my like top 3 shows already for the year. But the bear is by far sitting at the top for me, and I loved Beef. You're so right about it. Characters you would never expect. The pastry chef, I forgot what that guy's name is. He is like this gentleness and like sweet soul, but like just an awesome story. Is it Marcus? I want to say. Maybe it's Marcus. I'm not sure.
It's Marcus. Yep, it's Marcus.
That episode he did with Will Poulter was phenomenal.
Yeah, where he's in Copenhagen.
He comes to Copenhagen, and then Will Poulter's like a pastry chef over there. And just how diligent they all are about the craft, but like these specific things in interesting ways and not what you would expect. And the way he teaches him to care about it. Even with the cousin, right? Cousin
I
Richie.
love that episode with Richie.
Dude, yeah, with what is it? Ibn Mas Barak. Man, Bachrach, that guy, because he's such a shit, and he's complaining. He's like, why are you trying to make me do all this bitch work and learn from this place? All these guys are snooty. You know, we don't do fine dining. And then he goes through the experience, and he starts learning why you put care into something and why it matters about time and presentation and customer care and listening to the and you see him slowly shift from the beginning of like, bro, why are you trying to make me do all this dumb shit I don't want to do, to I get it. And then he's a different person by the season. And talk about like growth. Like we even saw growth in season 1, and now we see even more growth in season 2 from him. It's like phenomenal writing, acting. Just it makes you care about things you didn't think you care. Like there's episodes where I was like, do I even really care about this person's backstory? And then I watch it, and I'm like, that was fucking amazing. Yeah. So yes to the bear season 2.
Yeah.
And it takes so hot.
The way they do like the way they film certain scenes are like so great. Like looking at the Christmas episode, like the way they choose to shoot certain things to make you feel uneasy, along with the swearing and the ruckus that's going on.
John Bernthal went off on that episode.
Oh my god, John Bernthal, Jamie Lee Curtis was amazing.
Was
I didn't know Bob Odenkirk was gonna be in it. That was fucking great.
Odenkirk is
like
the dad.
John Mulaney's in it.
John Mulaney.
I love when he comes. He's like, "Hey, you need help?" And she's like, "Get the fuck out!" He's like, "Okay," and he like leaves. Like, he's so funny.
Yeah,
but it was great. Like I noticed, like even there was a part where like there's uneasiness and you see them laughing, and like the way it's filmed is like just kind of off, like almost like a scary movie.
Ooh, good
like
catch.
I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And like man, and then jumping to like the last episode, like Jamie Lee Curtis when she comes, like, okay, spoilers. She's in the last episode. Maybe I won't spoil everything, but the scene that she has
this is full spoiler, baby.
She comes to the restaurant, but she doesn't fully come in. And like the up close shot on her, like, and like her just going into like why she can't be there and how much she loves them, but she doesn't know how to love them. I'm like, dude, that scene was making me tear up.
Yeah.
And then like then the husband has to go in and like put on a brave
he's
face, and
tearing up.
he can't tell her why. Yeah, I was like, dude, this is like crazy. And then when Richie and Carmi were arguing through the freezer, and they had that shot where it's like you could see just freeze the door, and they're like, he's like, I fucking hate you. He's like, I love you. I love you. I'm like, oh my god, so good.
So good.
Every second counts.
Every second counts.
Really,
there was one thing though
really
in
does
the
feel
last
like it in this
episode. I was.
season.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off. Was that?
No, I was just saying it really did feel like that this season. That every second counted.
Yeah, really. There was one thing, and I guess they explain it though. But like, oh man, I was like so frustrated with Carmi when he was stuck in the freezer, and he just kind of was flipping out, and he's like let me out of here, and it's like the logic part of your brain is like you know why you're stuck, and like you can't get out, and they still need to do their things.
Right.
But then in the end, when like when Richie calls him Donna, was like his mom's name. He's, all right, Donna. And he's like, why'd you say that? Like, it's like you start saying like that. Maybe that mental illness is like it's something he's trying to fight, you know, constantly. But oh man, it's so good.
A little insider info. A lot of the times, you use walk-ins in the industry to kind of like get away. So like moment breakers. Sometimes people go in there to get pissed. Sometimes people go in there to calm down. Sometimes they need a moment of silence. Sometimes they need to just like get out of the heat of the kitchen in general. Very interesting that usually people are going there to get in and get away, but to have the opposite, to have that anxiety of not wanting to be alone or in that moment of themselves and wanting to get back out there, very contrasting as it compares to. So it probably brought a lot more animosity and stress to the scene, I presume.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I mean,
Didn't think about that.
wow, that's some good insight. I didn't know
Plus, the whole season, they're saying, hey, you need to call this fridge guy and get him to fix the door. Hey, you need to do it. And that's his job. He's like, I'll do it. Like, I don't know how many episodes, but there's at least 4 episodes where like, hey, you got to fix that door. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. Doesn't do it. And then he gets stuck in that freezer on the biggest night that they have, opening night. This restaurant, unless it starts killing it and makes money in 2 weeks, the shit is gone. It's out of business. So there's all this pressure on him, and he's done a good job this season of like keeping under control. And this is about the first time I feel like this season where he really like lets it rip. Am I wrong?
I think he was doing well because this season
it's been a
they
minute
introduced.
since I watched it now.
No, I think you're right. Like especially this season, there's little flashbacks to like him almost like he could lose it, but then they introduced that that sign language. Like I'm sorry, like
which I love that.
Which they recognize, like, hey, we're both getting out of control right now. Like we'll talk about this later, or like I recognize what's happening. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the counter to him, that girl Sydney, I think her name is like Io.
Sydney Adamu.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Not gonna try, but she's fantastic in it too. She's
really
such a good counter to Jeremy Allen White's Carmi, like such a good balance. And you know, Drake, we always talk about communication and how important it is, and like of course every horror movie, terrible communication. That's why they all get like take the wrong corner, go down a dark alley, go to a place where you're definitely gonna go and get chopped up. Well, this show is like it shows how also, and you've talked about this from real life experience, how important communication is in a restaurant. And damn, do they stress it, and they can show you how easily it can break too. And even if you think you're good at communicating, well, maybe to the outside world or to everybody else, you're not. And I think that's an important message, not to get like too deep and too serious, but it's like, truthfully, we all think we're good at communicating, so to speak. And even if you've been practicing, you think you're good at it, but it may not be that other person's form of communication, which I think is equally as valid, which is equally as important. And I think this show does such a good job of showing that, along with how pressing everything can be. And even if you think you're growing, becoming a better person, becoming a better you, like those old tendencies are still down there, and they can still get you in the right or wrong situation at the right or wrong time, right? And Man, so good. The bear,
agree.
phenomenal. I can't say one bad thing about this show. And I feel like I've been a little bit more critical on things lately, but I literally cannot think of one bad thing about
Yep.
this show for me this season. It was so damn good.
And like, dude, shout out to Maddie Matheson. Like,
Maddie
I know his role in it is like small, but like the sprinkled in bits you get for
Yeah.
Fac is like so funny, or like just like, I guess, endearing. Like you sense that he's just like this character that cares about these people so much, do anything for them, and like I love when of course him and his
Beef's
brother
Kobe.
were hilarious, huh?
He's Beef's Kobe.
Yeah, he's so
Shout out to
great.
Kobe.
Shout out to Kobe, we love you. But like Fac, like I love him and his brother for one thing were fucking hilarious. Like that duo
Yeah.
in the family episode, that was hilarious. But I love when Fac comes in and he's like tells when Richie's wearing the suit and he's like, "What are you wearing?" He's like, "I wear suits now." He's like, "Fucking look good." Like
Yeah.
Like you think he's gonna give a shit, but he's like, "You fucking rock that shit."
Yeah.
Like, it's just like yeah, it's so great. Like I love seeing these characters interact with each other like they're real people.
Totally.
He did such a good job.
Even the lady who becomes a sous chef, she gets her moment to shine. They send her to culinary school and she rises, and it's just very heartwarming because you could tell like she's wanted this opportunity to be promoted, rise up in the ranks, have more responsibility, and she finally gets it, and it's like it's very heartwarming. So it does so many things well. Man, I can't say one bad thing about this show. So
Yeah,
damn
me
good.
neither.
Highly recommend it. Olivia Colman's in an episode. Academy Award winner Olivia Colman's randomly in episode 2 with the cousin. So crazy. Yeah, check it out if you have not checked it out. Tell us what you think about Bear. You're gonna hear a lot more about it. So I'm gonna be comparing everything else I watched in shows to this.
Da Bear.
Dog Bears, yeah, for sure. I think they're gonna be winning some awards.
Yeah, I love the shorts where people are like acting out, like making a box cake, but in the form of like the bear. Shit's so funny.
Yes,
Chef.
chef.
Oh my
So
God.
spot on. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
chef.
so funny. Me and one of my coworkers have been doing that. Like to the Ivy room, we're like, order the window, chef. Yes, chef.
Oh
like,
my
just for
God.
fun.
No, totally. Christina's like, hey, did you feed the dogs? Yes, chef.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
Is
behind
this
chef,
gonna be
corner.
Yes, chef.
Halloween? Is this gonna be the costume of the decade?
I think it will be there. It's a pretty like low hanging fruit, easy costume. So yeah, I don't know if it's costume of the year, but it'll be at some parties. There's no doubt about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, because it's pretty hard to like dress up like one of the Roy kids.
Oh, that's
You know what I
true,
mean?
yeah,
Like I don't know
yeah.
how you dress up like that.
Yeah, it's definitely
Because-
not going full out Avatar.
Yeah, because it seems like the Bears almost. It's not quite Game of Thrones where like everyone's like, "Are you watching the Bear?" But when you
Right.
meet someone who is, they're like, "Oh fuck, are you watching?"
Totally.
Like it's so good. Like so,
Yeah.
I'm hoping more people watch it for sure. Like just for their sake. It really is that good.
Right. And if you have, if you don't handle stress super well, or you have personal experience, or it's triggered or whatever, totally understand if you can't watch it. Because there's
Yeah, I
definitely
agree with
times
that.
for me where I'm like, shit, man, I might have to take like a Zoloft or something to get through this one. It's
Take a
tense,
little break.
but it's worth it. Like it was still worth it for me, but it gives you some stress. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to take some extra CBD after it.
Heyo.
Yeah. Anything else on the Bear, Scott?
No, it was amazing. Go watch it.
Absolutely. All right, so last bit, Secret Invasion episode 4 isn't even out yet. Drake, we didn't get to talk to you about it at the time, I believe. What did
Yeah.
you think about Secret Invasion episode 3?
To exactly what you said, like it answered a lot of the questions that I had initially and brought up obviously so much more. Like,
Yeah.
Gravik's just so intent on, fucking shit up, which I guess I agree with sort of kind of his idea, going back to the oil painting of the politicians, and he would rather it be in blood. Like from that line in himself, like I really felt kind of where he stood, figuratively and literally. And then kind of to see
You were literally
Talos
in
and
his
Fury's... Wait, what?
You literally
Yeah.
stood where he was?
Well, yeah, I was in front of a painting. Well, I was in front of the painting on the screen where he was standing, so I felt like I was there. You know what I mean?
Kind of literally.
Kind of
Yeah,
literally.
kind of literally, mostly figuratively.
VR is pretty good nowadays.
Yeah.
Just gotta
Yeah,
find
yeah.
where he
You know
was
what I mean?
standing.
It's
That
virtual
dad-
reality.
He got that
but-
Apple headset. You know, he was like, I'm
Yeah,
not,
I mean
I'm
that's
not going
a
anywhere this year.
$5,000 investment right now.
Yeah.
So, it's the investment I have now in the Secret Invasion is kind of just wanting to see more about what Priscilla's about. Like, what is that bitch doing? You know what I mean? What is
that
Fury
Fury's
and
wife?
Yes.
Okay, right. on.
Which
I
I
only
think
know her
she's
as
a
Farah.
yeah, she's a Skrull, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then kind of Talos and Fury's relationship seems very interesting. Like they could do like a buddy cop situation and I would watch it completely. And to kind of see Talos push to the edge and kind of Fury having to make his way back through kind of the entanglements that he got himself into by being up in Saber for so long. So also too, Gaia dying was like, she's probably not dead. Obviously, why would they sign her on just for her to die at episode 3? That's going to
Jeez.
play more of a role, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that. The internet, she is dead, and there's going to be another character called Abigail Brand from the comics who is also a Saber agent who may be her shell, or she's just not dead. And I was leaning right after I saw it, I was like, nope, don't buy that for 1 second. She ain't
Same.
dead. I was like instantly. But if the online rumors are true and she is dead, I could see them pulling the Abigail Brand character in because she has a lot of comic book history. She can be in future operations. She might even be in the Marvels. But like, if that's how she died, I'm like,
yeah.
why did he double tap? If she's dead, he better have went back and popped her in the head because that was like the
Yeah.
weakest way to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a Skrull.
Yeah,
It
she's
is
a
amazing
Skrull.
how. Oh, sorry. It is amazing how sometimes, like, just the way things are filmed, I'm like, it didn't feel like it had enough oomph, like, for this character. Like, you know, like when in the first episode where Robin dies from. Yeah.
Robin Scherbatsky.
Robin dies, and they play the music, and you're like, oh fuck, I think she's dead. Like
Totally.
you like, even though you don't want it, but this one I'm like, I don't know about that. I was kind of like,
Right. Yeah, it just felt so weak.
Kobe Smulders.
Yeah, Kobe Smulders, Maria Hill, R.I.P. But yeah, I like Gravik, and the more I see a Gravik, the more I'm digging him. I mean, truthfully, you were talking about Talos and Nick Fury being a buddy cop. I feel like that's what it is. Like I feel like this is a buddy cop show. It's Fury going around with his buddies and trying to figure out how we gonna stop this. And that's what it is. It's like series of friends.
yeah,
You know, it was Maria in the beginning, and then it was Talos there too, and it'll continue being Talos. But they could chew up as much scenery as they want for me, and I dig it. I think they're so phenomenal, both those guys, and then together, it's just like they're killing it. I just wanna
together
see,
they're like Nick Cage and what's his name?
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal. Yeah.
Yeah, whereas Nick Cage like looking over in the convertible, and Pedro Pascal just turns in his face. Yeah. Dude,
The
okay.
pairing you never thought you knew you wanted.
That's the next video I'm putting on TikTok. If you're not following
Yeah.
us there, you better. But yeah, man, totally. It's so good. Drake, sorry, I cut you off there. Anything else that you wanna? What else did you think about the ending of the episode?
I kind of just want to know what Priscilla's doing. She's just super sneaky.
Yeah,
I want to get in, you know, I just want to see what's going on in that situation. You trying to screw over the person that you care about or that you say you care about, Nick Fury, when you showed us so much flashbacks of how you guys fell into this intimate relationship?
yeah. Let's talk about that. Do you think she has flipped on Fury and is now working with Gravik, or do you think she's a double agent? I guess a triple agent.
A quadruple agent?
That would be the math, but
super
for
double
some
agent?
reason, yeah, well, super double agent. Okay, follow me, yeah. But then, for real, like, do we think that she is pretending to work with Gravik, but then really trying to screw him over, grabbing the gun so that she can kill him and end it? Which way are we leaning?
I think she's still with Fury.
Okay.
Because I know they talk about like he's been gone for so long, but how long do Skrulls live?
Well, I mean, Talos is like 140 something. He's like, I'm only middle age.
Exactly.
That was a terrible
So
Australian
the fact
accent,
that nah, you nailed it. The fact that he's only been gone for Nick Fury, it feels longer than it should feel for her. So I know he's been gone for a long time, but really it's not that long in comparison to how long she's been living. So I think, if they do love each other, then it would exist stronger on her end maybe, because it seemed like they were both really in love, right? So
I agree with that only because, well, also because
nice.
it adds more depth
quadruple.
to a potential loss, right? Assumedly, Nick Fury's character, and then how it's gonna play out with the Thunderbolts and things and such. This show in itself has been very atypical of Disney, where we're just seeing straight up murder, right? And so to see kind of Priscilla be on Fury's side, go to the dark depths, and then for Fury to lose even more would be kind of compelling. And a setup for the following. So I will agree because I would love to see kind of that drama unfold.
Yes.
Origami style, or
Yeah.
reverse origami style.
Yeah, I was like, when you
Nice.
But
Double super origami style.
yeah, quadruple. Huh? But like, yes, but okay. Let's say he experiences this great loss. He's trying to reclaim sanity and safety in the world from the Skrulls. Now this all ends, and we get to the Marvels, and he's in the Marvels. Does he go back to goofy, silly, like Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel Fury? Like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be all serious. The world's in threat. My friend got killed. My wife's got killed. And now, like, hey, it's all good. What's up, Miss Marvel? Like, that's not gonna work for me, So they gotta tread lightly on what they do with this ending for it to be palpable for me going into Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's something I'm thinking about, but yeah, I don't know. I think she is still with Fury as well. I think Vara does love him. I think she's trying to play it the best way that she knows how. But I mean, she's a capable spy herself. I mean, with that earlier shot in 1998 when they go to meet in the restaurant in New York, like, she knew what she was doing. She had skills already. So I think, she said, hey, I went back to who I was before you when you left. Mm-hmm. I think she still has got skills. I think she's going to figure out a way to help. I don't know if she gets killed. Like, that would be, I could see her getting captured, but if she gets killed on top of it, like,
brutal.
Maybe there's so much loss. I know that Phase 4 was all about loss. Like, I don't need Fury to lose that much for him to want to feel motivated to save the world.
He's like lost everything already.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen
the only thing he got.
Right, we've seen it with Thor, and we've seen it with Hawkeye, I guess, and he gets it back with the family. But, I don't need that for Fury to have pride in wanting to save the world. Like, he had that before he met Vara. He had that before the Avengers. And he should have that after it as well. Like, he doesn't need any more motivation. Although it's nice. It's a good callback to the Winter Soldier when he breaks into Captain America's room. And he said, yeah, my wife kicked me out and he got shot. It's like a nice callback to like, oh, wait, he wasn't lying. He had a wife back then. And that wasn't just a throwaway line to throw us off the scent.
Right.
Like, that actually led to something down the line, which I do appreciate.
Yeah.
What if Priscilla turns into John Travolta? And then
maybe do they like recite the whole burger?
Yeah.
Burger. What am I trying to say? Monologue.
Yeah.
Say what again?
Yeah.
Royale with cheese.
With cheese. Yeah, exactly.
And then Uma Thurman is Gravik.
Sure. Let's go. Even though Quentin Tarantino said he wants nothing to do with Marvel, let's just erase that fact.
Yeah.
But
what was the line in that, real quick? What is say I don't know again? What did he say? That line?
Yeah.
The guy kept saying it, and he's like, "Say it again, motherfucker." Like,
You're
let's,
right, right.
let's get one of those scenes in there.
I love it. I love it. I mean, that Ezekiel 17:10, and then he just spouts off something that's not even remotely a verse from the Bible. Like he just like ad-libbed the shit out of. Man, that's
the
Samuel L.
best.
Jackson at his finest. I think that we're getting it here. I have heard this complaint, and I didn't think about it at first, but the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, I can kind of see that. In the earlier Avengers movies, in the early Marvel movies, we got Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury. And in this show, it does seem that we are getting Nick Fury playing Samuel L. Jackson. And I do kind of see it a little bit more. Like I don't completely agree with it because I think he very much is still Nick Fury, but I can kind of see what they're saying a little bit. But, man, it looks like he's having a good time. He's killing it. The scenes he has with any other great actor has been phenomenal. I don't know. I hope we get the answer to who Vara was talking to. And I think I mentioned this. I don't know if I did, but I'll repeat it one more time. I think at the end of episode 3, when Vara gets the call, I think who she gets a call from, to me, it sounded like Rhodey. So I think it was Don Cheadle. Which gives even more credence to the online rumors that he's been a Skrull the whole time. Well, I think the evidence is just mounting that direction. When there's this much evidence pointing in a direction and this much of the internet and different parts are agreeing, I think it's probably true. So I think we could see Rhodey become a Skrull either next episode, and I think in the final episode we get the Super Skrull battle with Gravik and some of the other Skrulls.
That's interesting, because when they were talking about how, like, all of your intelligence, all the big things that happened, all of the things is all from Skrulls, I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, when are we going to see that,
Yeah, I don't know if you need to, because obviously, like, Fury was the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. He had, like, 10 football-size helicarriers that floated in air. We had thousands of soldiers underneath him. He had, weapons, equipment, bases around the world, as we saw throughout the movies. Like, I don't know if I need to see that. I think it was enough for Talos to say, you think you would have got there without us? You think he would have been... And I still think Nick Fury would have been Nick Fury. I just don't know if he would have excelled as fast and as high up as he did.
Right.
Like, he still would have been a boss in whatever military organization he was a part of. Because he was sharp, he's obviously intelligent, he knows how people think and operate. He's still a badass. But would he have gotten to that level? I don't know. But I'm not going to take anything away from him, because I think the man is still... I mean, he's a human who handles his shit every time he's on screen. So
he needs to be the guest host on SNL for their, like, 1 millionth episode, because he can play every single character, and or he could have like a Nick Cage like movie where he makes fun of himself and every single character he's ever been over the course of his like movie infinity.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
I'd watch that.
I'd watch that too. That'd be amazing.
Has he not been on SNL?
I don't know.
Crazy, right?
I could look it up real quick.
Yeah, that's a Google question. I'm sure he probably has, even in a small part, but Samuel Jackson is amazing. Ben Mendelsohn is amazing. Oh, last thing too, on top of all the other last things I said, he has.
Oh.
When?
It says January 10th, 1998. And he made a cameo in 2012.
1988?
98.
98. All right.
And I guess he was on What Up With That in 2012.
Oh shit, that's
oh my god. All right, we're gonna link
What's
that.
up with that?
We'll have to post that online.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, if you know, you know. But so good. Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out on Wednesday how it's all going to culminate. All I know is I want more Samuel Jackson, and I want more Olivia Colman as well. She's a phenomenal actress. I really want her to stretch her legs. And I think Amelia Clarke will be back. She needs to be back. And I'll be excited if she's Abigail Brand, but I also don't want Gaia to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Mother Earth right there.
That is.
Yeah, you got to take care of her.
Absolutely.
Mala aina.
Definitely. All right. Well, yeah. Do you guys have anything else you want people to check out? Any other recommendations? Final thoughts for this week's episode? All right. Well,
Long time.
no.
Thanks for shaking it with us, guys.
Thanks for sticking it with us.
I'm glad we have video now, so those long pauses, you could just see me going like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we love seeing you do that.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's
Yeah.
our favorite.
It gives me so much tension. I feel like I'm watching The Bear. All right. Well, everybody, thanks as always. Thank you for sticking it with us.
The Joy Schtick Show.